Good evening. We're here at the girls' game. Dick Herman here, Gino Gang on camera, Rick Blair, our lacrosse expert, joining us in the booth. And I know you're a big boys lacrosse guy, but you follow the girls as well.
Oh yeah, we always had a lot of. My high school team had a very, very famous girls program, so I've been around it my whole life.
And what can we expect from the Lady Whalers here today?
Well, they're playing. This is their fifth game. They're 3-1 with wins over Monomoy, Sturgis, and I believe Cape Cod Academy, and a loss to Falmouth in a game they didn't probably perform as well as they could have. St. John Paul, in the meantime, is 1-2. I didn't get a chance to find out who they played. I think we had maybe a split with these guys last year, but they look pretty athletic, and I think it's going to be a good game. Coach Rafael Asona just underwent an ACL surgery today, but he's out here in spite of that, leading the girls.
Did he? He's a tough guy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either.
What's he play, soccer?
I don't know how he did it, but he...
Well, his father's in the business of moving furniture.
Well, there's a pretty good educated guess there in AMWA surgery.
So, hey, a big sports day here. You know, we got a baseball game going on up there. The girls here, the boys, undefeated boys. We'll talk more about them as this game goes on. The undefeated boys on the road going against the undefeated St. John Paul. The big thing of that is that vacation starts tomorrow, and everything shuts down for about 10 days. And I'm not a fan of that happening, and we'll talk more about that also.
Yeah, that's a test, and I think probably the good news there is that I think Nantucket does have the boys have not such a challenging game immediately after returning before they take on a very tough Nauset team who just beat Marshfield the other day.
Yeah, you're looking at the schedule, and I was looking at the schedule before I came here today. Today's April 12th, and on all four schedules, well, not the baseball team, but on the softball, boys and girls lacrosse, they have April 12th, and their next game is April 24th. So it jumps 12 days. The boys' baseball team was supposed to be playing a doubleheader with Vineyard at the Vineyard this weekend, but I saw in the Yankee Mirror today, they're only going to play them once. They are going to the Vineyard to play one baseball game this week, and the boys' baseball team is very, very young and in need of a victory. They won't get it against the Vineyard. So we're getting ready to start today's game. I'd like to mention some of our fine sponsors bringing you portions of today's game. Sushi by Yoshi, Randy Alfred Heating and Plumbing, Island Fencing, Nantucket Estate Jewelry, The Wave, NRT, remember they're going to be going year-round now, Pumpkin Pond Farm, Something Natural, Island Variety, The Homestead, The Sea Grill, Nantucket Health Club, UPS Store, BPC Architect, Michael Wilson Attorney, Artistic Tile Install, Keeper's Restaurant, Glenden's Island Seafood, Nantucket Folk Art, Nantucket Architect, and the Fairgrounds Restaurant. We thank all these fine sponsors and getting ready. And I'm noticing that referee down there. I'm fascinated with it. She's putting a ball on every stick on the field and tilting it like a seesaw. I wish I had a stick. I would just like to go down there and have a present that. Look at, she's going over to the bench now, getting some kid who's not even dressed.
Well, Dick, having the sticks legal is such a critical part of women's lacrosse. In men's lacrosse, back in the day, the pockets were, by rule, a lot shallower. With the technological developments in both men's and women's, the men's sticks are really high tech now, and it's difficult to get the ball out. With the women's, because of their checking rules and not the kind of contact they have in the men's game, the sticks have to be very shallow pocket, and the officials check very rigorously to make sure that ball's not going to stick in there, because otherwise you'd never be able to dislodge it.
I could really delay this game. I have a couple of old sticks I found, in the woods, and I bring them home. My grandkids will use them around. I could have brought them up here and put them on the bench over there. She would have had fun checking out that stick.
Yeah, I've got a couple old wooden sticks too. The trouble with the old wooden sticks is they're great collector's items, but the thing is they like if you don't put them in a press, they'll unbend.
Speaking of old sticks, I found a solid wood golf putter. How old do you think that is?
You know, my friend
20s, 30s.
my friend Pete Fredlin out in Wisconsin collects golf clubs. I bet I'll have to ask him.
Ask him if he's interested in looking at mine, and for the right price, I might let it go.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Okay, guys, we're about to have the
Always looking for the angle, Jim.
Always.
we're about to have the opening draw here. Catherine Pittman, the senior center, to take it for Nantucket. I recall seeing her play last year.
She's going to the Coast Guard Academy.
Oh, is she really?
Yes, she
good,
is.
Well, good for her.
I know it.
She's a good
It's
athlete.
my alma mater.
She's a
Not
good
the
athlete.
academy.
She's a good athlete.
She is.
And a good student to be going to the Coast Guard.
You got it.
You didn't go to the academy.
No,
Jim.
but I was in New London.
in New London.
Yeah, I was just a grunt.
I was in New London last weekend,
Emma Pierce with the ball for Nantucket.
getting the boat over to Orient Point, Long Island.
Over to Nina Wilson, who drives and shoots. Saved by the St. John Paul goalkeeper. Maggie Buckley, the goalie for St. John Paul.
Now, do you ever think the rules for the boys and girls lacrosse will ever be the same?
No.
Now,
No.
I say that because back in the 50s, they said the same thing when you asked them about boys and girls basketball.
Yeah. That's. Well, I think the difference here is that it's really a different sport. This is actually more like original lacrosse used to be, with the shallow pockets and the wide open play.
I disagree with you, Rick.
Okay, my next question was why? Why don't they?
Well, because
for
for one thing, there's a very strong, very strong, and in a lot of sports, women's sports, the movement is let's make it exactly the same as the men's sport. But you don't have that so much in lacrosse because, I think the women cherish their own sport. There is some movement to put the girls in light helmets, and it's in some states.
Once that starts, I think you're going to start to see it, though.
Well, the problem is, I think it would ruin the game because it would get too physical. And really, I've never seen, in all the time I've watched women's lacrosse.
That's a good point.
You see some injuries. You might see an athlete get a cut on her forehead or an occasional concussion, very occasional. But really, the injury risk is not there. It's here comes Nina Wilson right down the center, shot and deflected.
Another save?
I think it was.
If it was a save, although the ball would hit the ground from the knocked stick, the goalie would get credit for a save. Not a big save, but a save. So we're just underway here. 3 minutes, only 2 minutes played. Still 0-0 here as the girls get lined up by the
Do they
official
keep the
down there.
clock going or
They
no?
do keep the clock going.
do?
It's 25-minute halves,
Last game.
and
And the clock does run
you
all
only
the
get 2 timeouts per game, including overtime. Nina Wilson handles it behind the goal for the Whalers. I believe Nina's a left-hander. Here she comes around lefty. Looks up top. Emma Pierce behind the.
The one thing that controls a girls' game over the years is one solid, fast athlete.
Fast is
because
the key
once
word
she
there.
gets running up the middle, sort of like what Nina was doing on that last rush, nobody can really touch her according to the rules.
You can tap her stick, but once she gets leverage on you, you really can't get in front of her and contact her at all physically. So it really, as you say, speed is a key element.
Maybe there's room for a more man-like game in college for the girls.
Well, if you watch college women's lacrosse, it's super athletic. It is a little bit more physical, but everybody has tremendous speed, and there are some there's some really big, strong athletes out there. People that are pushing on 6 feet, and a lot of field hockey athletes also play lacrosse.
Yeah, the field hockey and the lacrosse is very similar in that aspect, even though they're holding a different
In lacrosse, a lot of college coaches will recruit field hockey athletes who don't have that great of a lacrosse pedigree because of their athleticism, and they'll switch them to full-time lacrosse players in college.
Because it's pretty much the same type of movement, just a different stick in their hand, right?
Juliana Maurice behind the goal, number 1. Looks to feed through. Mishandled. Picked up by Natalie Gadmans.
Lots of stomping.
Yeah, that's the situation that you find, and some officials will do a lot more than other officials. Right now, when I saw this official checking every stick on the bench, you knew that there's going to be a lot of whistles.
Number 10, Caitlin Meal, bringing it on for St. John Paul. Feeds inside.
We got a penalty.
Victoria Butler had that one in close.
A yellow card. What does that?
Mishandled it.
So a yellow card sends a wheeler to the bench. Number
8, Lucy Brissett.
Lucy will have to sit down for at least a minute, I assume. And here's the shot here that'll kill you. She has a wide open one step. Gino, watch this.
Victoria Butler.
She can take it.
Unimpeded to the goal for a penalty shot.
Big save.
Nice save by Emma Chambers, the sophomore goalkeeper for Nantucket.
Huge save there. I didn't think that was such a great shot, but it was a huge save, keeping it out of the net.
Yeah, Emma had to move across her body with her stick to make that save, so it wasn't as though it went right stick side and high, but she might have bounced it. Nantucket advances it up the field. Picked up by Paige Albertson.
Now I had the girls losing to Sturgis yesterday, Tuesday. Rick, I heard you say they lost to Falmouth. Do you think they beat Falmouth?
No, they lost to Falmouth.
So that would make them 2-2 according to me.
Well, the coach told me they were 3-1.
3-1.
So.
All right, we'll go with 3-1 then. I could have marked that loss down on the wrong spot.
I think you did because I think Mark Chambers told me he was watching Emma play and told me that they had won. Maggie Visco brings it down that far wing, defending on the far wing rather.
There it is.
Oh, it is the first goal. Walked right in, took a nice shot, number 18.
Nice power move there by number 18, Haley Tierney. Tierney's a big name in the sport of lacrosse. A lot of famous coaches, most notably Bill Tierney out of Denver, who was formerly of Princeton, and his family, they're all playing lacrosse. You hear that name a lot. So that makes it 1-0.
Remember, you're watching this on Channel 99. Get the preseason special for just $400 till September 1st, 2018. Be a Wheeler Sports TV sponsor. Your local playing 24/7 and mentioned as a sponsor during all Wheeler Sports TV games. Also, you can add a 15-second video for just $400 more. Extend this opportunity to May 1st, 2019 and get a 15-second video. Give Gino a call or text him at 508-292-2203.
Nice save there by Whaler goalie Emma Chambers. The long clearing pass. Ball's loose. Picked up by Paige Albertson. Advanced to the center of the field. Nina Wilson with the ball, the lefty moving it along.
Where's the movement?
Sydney Strait, number 23, gets it behind Nantucket, maneuvers around, shoots, and gets her own rebound.
I don't know how that one stayed out. She must have shot it right at her foot because she had the whole net wide open.
You know, in lacrosse, you're taught to shoot low, and so many times you'll see the players shoot too much at the goalie's feet. Now,
What happened here?
I don't know.
I mean,
Wow.
Is Nantucket down 2 players right now? Looks like it to me.
Nantucket down 2 players, and we're not quite sure why.
Hit Kylie, hit Kylie!
They don't come over and tell you like the other
No, they don't.
boys. They should.
It's a little mysterious, isn't it?
All right, Nantucket picks up the loose ball here. We got some movement up the middle. They're only down the one player.
Lucy Brissett spearheading this fast break.
And this is a call I don't like.
I agree.
They stopped the play when we had the advantage. We still have the advantage, but they should have let the play go through.
I agree. You know, Lucy had leverage on her. Brissett, nice bounce shot, just missed the cage. Yeah,
but I would have liked to seen her play that all the way in. She was breaking in on the goal and it stopped.
And to your point about helmets, that's a play where you probably wouldn't need to stop it if they had head protection. Paige Albertson maneuvers behind the goal. Over to Nina Wilson, the lefty looking to come around. The Whalers look, they're kind of in a cut and recut offense with Nina Wilson looking to feed the right-handers.
I can hear Raphael, the coach, yelling out, "Move, move, move." There is a lot of standing around there by a few of the offensive players. That doesn't help.
You don't see as many picks in women's lacrosse. Nice look to the backside. She may have stepped in the crease. No, not quite.
We're in the first half. Portions of the first half brought to us by the Seagirl. The Seagirl is now open. Stop by. 16:54 to go in the first half. Nantucket trailing 1-0.
Go, Jules, go, Jules, we gotta go. Turn. Better.
Melissa Von Cott advancing the ball up the far side for St. John Paul.
Victoria, settle it.
Oh, a quick feed to the crease.
Yeah, she didn't get a good shot off, but Nantucket was very fortunate.
Yeah, that was what we used to call a quick stick. She didn't really possess it, just kind of one-timed it and missed the goal. Only was in position.
Trudy, crease.
Number 11 for Nantucket, Corinne Mayer, is forced to go behind and concede position on a minor foul. Catherine Pittman around the ball again, as she is so often. But
Baseball team playing Sturgis West up there today. Let's see if we have good eyesight and pick up a score. Looks like it's 0-0 up there, game just underway.
number 7, Victoria Butler, carries right-handed.
Keep moving, keep moving.
It looks like the same style offense. They're basically in a big circle with an occasional cut through the middle.
Here's the score here, though.
Yeah, number 10, Kate Mell, or Kate Mell. Nantucket up with it. That's Paige Albertson again. Sydney Strait spearheads a fast break, gets it behind. Nantucket's handling the ball pretty well. I don't think there's a big difference there.
They are getting shots.
Yeah, they're trying to squeeze it in. They haven't put too many on net,
Back her up, back her up, back her up, back her up.
but they are getting some open looks.
Nantucket drives to a center.
There we go.
Nina Wilson,
Oh, and a big save.
backhanded shot for the lefty.
Well, John Paul has a legitimate goalie there, that's for sure.
Yeah, Maggie Buckley, she looks good.
Watch 7.
Maggie Visco giving chase here. Helped out by Paige Albertson. As St. John Paul maneuvers down that right-hand alley. Now behind to the left wing. Shot and nice,
big save.
nice
there.
save, Emma. You did a good job of matching her stick.
Go, 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 go.
Another save by Emma. She was on that one all the way.
Good goalie play on both ends of the field here.
Anna Trnavich defending there. Nina Wilson contending for the ball. Now, typically, if the benches were a little further back, they'd continue to play that, but because they play, you know.
I've seen them play balls off over the sideline. Right.
In the old days, there were no sidelines. Up to Nina Wilson, Albertson, up to nice loose ball up to Nina Wilson. Here she comes left-handed. Nice look inside. Oh.
You got to take that shot. When you get that far, you got to take the shot.
Definitely wide open too.
Yeah, you got to take that shot.
Go.
Paige Albertson defending. Good speed here by the Pope John Paul player inside. Left-handed shot.
Nice move there. Got the shot off high over the net.
Yeah, that was the junior, number 7, Victoria Butler. She's one of their key players. Now, I thought that would be a St. John Paul possession, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it is, it looks like.
They did stop the clock on that situation. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do.
Oh, interesting.
Emma still with the ball in her stick, brings it up. Long clearing pass. It looks like Nina Wilson's on it, and she is.
Good catch by Nina. Let's see if she takes this shot.
She's inside the arc. Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what she's got to do. That's what she's got to do. Nina Wilson, nice move there, ties it up.
Well, you know, Dick, as you pointed out before, if you get leverage on your opponent in this sport, and they lean on you, even if you're inside that arc, they'll blow the whistle. So Nina did the right thing that time. She kept running and got some space between herself and her opponent and was able to shoot and score. Now you'll see the girls drop their sticks in place to mark their place during a timeout. And you'll also notice that the referees check the scoring player's stick to make sure it's legal after every goal.
Okay, that goal was brought to it by Nantucket Island Pharmacies. It covered in-town and out-of-town. In-town, 45 Main Street. Out-of-town, 122 Pleasant Street. Both pharmacies offer you prescriptions, health, beauty aids, bath products, suntan lotion. Do you think we're ever going to use any suntan lotion this spring?
You know, it started out promising today, and now it's getting cold again. Are we supposed to get some weather tonight?
We have a chance of it getting a little chilly again tonight, and then tomorrow is supposed to be the best day, and then Saturday it's supposed to get a little bit chilly again.
All next week is cold.
And then Monday for the marathon, it's supposed to be cold and rainy in the morning.
Well, the runners will like that.
And I heard Tucker Harvey is representing the Sea Grill up there to run it this year. So good luck for Tucker and the Sea Grill as they support the marathon.
Yeah, Tucker was a real fine goalie for our boys lacrosse program, 2-year starter, and really one of the better goalies we've ever had. He went to the Culinary Institute, and of course, if he had, I really believe that Tucker could have played college lacrosse had he gone to a regular school, but he obviously made the right choice, becoming a professional chef, and now he owns his own restaurant.
Right. So he sort of came to the sport late, as I remember.
I think he started playing in 7th grade. Maybe it was 8th, but he played 2 years of JV because he was playing behind, I guess it was Joey McLaughlin in 2000. Is that right? Oh, no, he played behind Paul Emack for 1 year. Paul Emack was a really good goalie for us. Paul Emack was he might have been the most talented keeper we've ever had. He was a great athlete for us.
Those are a couple of names from the past there. Tucker, Paul, and Joey.
Yeah, and Jamie McCoy, of course, who you still see. Of course, our all-time mystery goalie was Keith Clemens. Do you remember him?
Keith, yeah.
He transferred here as a junior because his high school, his team on the Cape or wherever he was, didn't have lacrosse. And it was the oddest thing. Marsh and he was a very, very good goalie, but we never really got to know the guy. And he went on and became a 4-year starter, and he may have been an All-American at Hendricks College out in Arkansas.
Wow.
He was a good player. We've been fortunate in the boys' game here to have good keepers. But anyway, who's taking the draw now? Is this Catherine Pitts again? I believe it is.
What are we looking at?
Catherine Pittman, rather.
12:22 to go, so we're halfway through this first half, and it's 1-1. Sort of dragging girls for girls game.
Yeah.
The officials are blowing the whistle, and a lot of discussion. And during a lot of the discussions, they're shutting the clock down, which is kind of strange for ladies. Lacrosse. Right now, the Nantucket ladies seem to have taking the advantage in this game, tying it up and now having the play in their favor.
I believe that's Catherine Coleman, not Catherine Pittman. It's hard to tell.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's hard to tell the difference between an 8 and a 6 from out here.
Is she on the team now?
Yes. Yep. Number 9.
6 is Catherine Pittman. 8 on my roster is Lucy Brissett.
Okay, maybe that was Lucy Brissett then.
All right.
And then number 9 is Catherine Coleman, the sophomore.
I don't want the chief calling me up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Woo! I missed that goal.
Nina Wilson again.
Oh,
Nina
yeah.
got 2 of them.
Kylie Aubrey.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't Nina Wilson. That was Emma Pierce. Emma Pierce unassisted, Dick.
So 13 and not 3 scores. So Nina's got 1 and Emma's got 1, and the flow of this game is sort of favoring the Wheels right now. That goal was brought to us by Island Lumber. Got you covered from cellar to roof. Rock solid Wheeler Pry. Island Lumber serving the island for over 50 years. Out on Popus Road.
Lucy Brissett took that draw. Nina Wilson carries it behind. A little bit high on the feed to the crease, but a good idea nonetheless.
Will's playing some good defense now. John Paul having a difficult time getting free. Now they're breaking it across midfield.
Kylie Aubrey, a junior attacker. Paige Albertson with a loose ball. Turning it back to Paige.
Back up, Juwan.
There you go. Keep going, ladies.
That was Christina Roggeveen advancing it up. Maggie Visco behind to Wilson. Emma Pierce. Nice play. Lucy Brissett with the worm burner underhand shot. Right-handed to give Nantucket a 3-1 advantage.
Yeah, Nantucket has really taken over this game, both on the offense and the defensive end, keeping John Paul stymied on defense, getting the ball, and now making good decisions on offense, and they've scored 2 here in the last 2 minutes. That goal was brought to us by the Fairgrounds, family restaurant where friends meet. Sports bar, Wheels are always welcome. Big sports night tonight at the Fairgrounds as the Bruins will be opening their playoff run against Toronto, and the Red Sox and the Yankees will be putting on the boxing gloves for round 3.
Tonight?
Tonight.
Oh, I'm going to watch that. That was good.
Emma Pierce gives it behind.
What would you do, Rick, if somebody hit you in the back with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball? Besides fall down and cry, I would.
I don't think I could have run to the mound. I'd be in so much pain.
I was a pitcher. I hit a few people in my Pony League days.
But he didn't do it on purpose, Dick, did he?
I don't think so.
Well, you know,
Not.
in baseball today, I remember the days of Bob Gibson and those guys and Marichal. It was much more, that it wasn't such a big deal made of it back then.
Well, it was a scare factor more than the hit by the pitch. You know, yes, guys get hit, but it was a scare factor. They used to call it chin music.
Right.
You'd get up there, and the first pitch would come right up under your chin, and then after that, you would sort of just back away. And, you were an easy out from that point on, you know? Because you did not want to get hit with a Bob Gibson pitch.
Right. Anna Trinovich up with the ball. Now it gets loose again. Anna DiCarlo, number 26, and Emma Pierce defending,
Boy.
along with Anna Trnovich.
Violet, nobody to your right.
I think the Whalers have had such good play from Emma Chambers in that one sequence. That really kept them in the game. That could have been a turning point had she not made those 3 good saves. But now we're down to 7.5 minutes.
This official's blown the whistle 3 times in like the last 31 seconds. But Nantucket gets advantage of it.
Anna
With the ball
Trnovich
coming up.
advances the ball up. She's got Paige Alberson to her left. And once again, as you were saying, it's almost the defense's advantage to give a little shove inside that arc because they blow the whistle. Maggie Visco with the penalty shot.
Oh,
Little sidearm, just missed that left-hand post.
a good look, but it didn't go on net.
Wilson, the lefty, bringing it on from behind. Emma Pierce again on the right-hand wing. Here she goes and shoots, just misses the high post. Albertson picks it up. It goes righty behind the goal.
Oh, there you go.
Leaves it for Wilson.
Can't miss that.
Nice play.
Nice.
I've often asked my friends who coach women's lacrosse why you don't see them running a little more zone, because the nature of the game. That time Nina just came off that off that right hand wing and lost her defender, and there was nobody in the middle of the field that time.
I want to discussion after that goal over there, though, between the 2 officials. I don't understand that. But that goal was brought to us by Congdon & Coleman Insurance, specializing in personal and commercial lines of insurance, auto, home, marine business, established 1931, Congdon & Coleman, 57 Main Street. And I was in the Seagull last night, and I saw Ian Congdon, a former, she doesn't go by Congdon now. I forget what her married name is. She was there last night. 6:16 to go here. It's been all your Whalers now after a early goal by John Paul. Nantucket has rattled off 4, and the last 3 coming very quickly here.
Senior Leland Baker, number 21, brings it up. Number 7, Victoria Butler, the midfielder, gets it over to Kylie Aubrey, junior attacker. Here's Butler again, looking left-handed, waiting for something to happen here. As you say, a little standing around. Now she goes righty, ducks inside, and is fouled. Now, their coach just said that's going to happen every time. In other words, if she goes to the middle, she's going to draw a penalty. So
Right.
that's probably their strategy here.
Pressure's on Emma right now. Open shot coming.
Good job, Emma.
Woo, big save.
Boy, once again, she came across her body to make that off hip save.
Big time save there. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Whalers looking
Looking good here.
Emma Pierce,
Look at
another
the
fast
speed.
break.
Yes.
There you go, Emma. Well, that was a 2-point swing for the Whalers. Emma Chambers makes a real nice offside save and steps to the ball well, and then Emma Pierce goes the other way. Emma Chambers works a lot with her father, Sam Chambers, and her uncle, Marsh, who are both lacrosse coaches. And, they're good shooters. So you can see her, that experience working with them as well as with her full-time team coaches has really helped her. She's a good keeper and only a sophomore.
So it's 5-1. That goal brought to us by Santos Rubbish Removal. We clean up the islands. Go Whalers, Santos. And I don't know, Nantucket's dominating right now, Rick.
Yeah,
They're getting the goal play and they're getting the fast break.
As long as Emma keeps it up, I think. She's had about 4 difficult saves. I'm not sure Nantucket's really shot the ball any better than St. John Paul has. I think they're also getting more plays from, as you said, a number of different people. Here's Emma Pierce again. Over to Mia Blackwell.
Well, the sun's back out, Gino. Feels a little bit better. The stands are getting full over there. We now have 7
Nina Wilson again.
sitting
There's
there.
another one.
Nina Wilson sticks a left-handed shot to the goalkeeper's left side, right in the corner. I think their goalkeeper's body language is telling me that she's getting a little discouraged. I mean, these shots have been from, less than 3 yards.
Yeah, it's just wide open in the middle are the Whalers. And again, I go back to, the difference between the men's game and the women's game is that you can get wide open in the middle like that,
Right.
and nobody can do anything about it.
Right. I think I've seen when I watch women's lacrosse on television, it seems like they do run a little more zone. There's always somebody there, at least, in front of you.
Well, you have to, right? You have to, because you really can't play a man on man, because they just run away from you, man. No one else is there to defend you.
Now here's Victoria Butler again. I think she's going to be doing most of the directing in the midfield, but now they get it behind.
They ought to take a note off of Nantucket and just attack the net. They just keep passing it, and then they mishandle it, and then it's gone.
This is a scorer here, the girl with the ball. She should just whirl it around front and take the shot and not try to pass
drive the
it.
net.
If you establish,
Can't get around.
if you establish position, they can't not run through you.
Yeah, okay.
So if two Nantucket defenders come down there and sort of set up a wall, she can't come around. She has to move it along.
She's frustrated and passes it off, yeah.
Here's Victoria Butler again, the right-hander. Coach is calling them to move the ball.
Nantucket's playing a good defense right now, and John Paul is not doing much to break the zone there.
Yeah, I think.
Body language in this girl looks like she's very frustrated right
Yeah, the
now.
Whalers are settling down. St. John Paul is doing a better job when they get the ball up top. The cutters aren't really open, and now they're just using up a lot of clock. Victoria Butler seems to be maybe their best athlete out there.
Oh, there's another ball in the field. That's not very nice. Where did that come from?
Heckler? Yep. There's a heckler over there.
Somebody's frustrated with the lack of movement, so they threw a second ball onto the field.
What's next,
Feet inside. Kate Mill mishandles that. Kate Meal will be giving them.
She's got a chance to.
She was fouled inside the arc,
Again, the pressure's on Emma.
or I should say the fan. Another nice
Big
save.
save.
My goodness, that's fantastic.
Emma Chambers has
Here
stymied.
Here comes Emma
John
Pierce
Paul.
again with her speed. Yeah. Nantucket's almost at a place right now where they can settle it down some and put some mileage on the defender's legs. I think when Nantucket has the ball, they're making the St. John Paul players work a little harder than it is the case in reverse. Emma Pierce, right-hander, working up top. Over to Mia Blackwell.
They may just drain the clock here a bit too. Under a minute now to go in the first half.
Yeah, Nantucket could almost look for the last shot here. Emma Pierce with the ball. Over to Lucy Brissett, who drives and shoots an underhanded shot.
And a whistle before the shot, so that could be on John Paul. 35.6 seconds to go here in the first half. And if Nantucket does get the ball back, Rick, I agree with you, holding it for the last shot. Right now they're going to take this.
And-
There you go.
That was a well-placed shot, and unlike Emma Chambers, who swept her stick low and stepped to her offside, the John Paul keeper stepped at the ball. Nice shot off to her left shin, and right in the corner. Nice shot.
Was that Lucy, or did I see the number?
That was number
8?
10.
Is that 8? Who was?
That was.
Number 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's just the girl.
8, right?
Okay,
Eight.
that's Lucy Brissett, correct?
Lucy. So that's Lucy's second.
No, that's number 6.
6.
Unless you thought it was an 8.
Is that 6 out there now? Is that?
6 took the face off. I thought 8.
Okay, well, six is is Catherine Pittman.
Yeah.
I think she scored.
We're gonna send Rick down at halftime to make
Well,
sure we find out who got that.
they look very much alike, and the numbers are so close. It's kind of hard to see from up here. It's the difference between a 6 and an 8. That's definitely Catherine Pittman out there now, number 6.
Right. Well, my eyes showed me an 8 getting the goal, but again, the 8 and the 6 are looking very much alike. 20 seconds to go here in the first half. Nantucket's up 7-1.
Here comes Victoria Butler. Shoots it wide to her right, goalkeeper's left. I think you can see from that shot, Emma Chambers just kind of got into their heads because she was trying to place that right in that left-handed corner off stick, and Emma was all over it and it missed anyway.
Yeah, Emma's stymied them too many times. They're trying to find a way around her, not through her.
Paige Albertson defended behind the goal.
Yeah, they gotta hurry.
No,
4 seconds, 3 seconds.
no, she's not doing it.
Oh!
Another save.
Another.
That was a nice shot and a great save.
That was well-placed shot. Emma must have 6 or 7 saves in this first half.
So we have played one half here at Vita Copiso Stadium. It's young Nantucket Whalers leading 7-1.